Welcome to the Music Reel. I'm your host, Nicola Burton. I have Michael and Mark from the Pushworth group with me. How are you, boys?
Good, thanks.
And today we have Brad and Debbie from the Pub with No Fear. How are you two?
Well, we're not scared.
We're great, thanks.
You're not scared? Awesome. I think
No fear over here.
what's been interesting about this time is that so many people that we've spoken to have said that they've pivoted and innovated. There's two drinks. And they've sort of, I guess, transitioned into a new business model, and they've had to do it in the space of a couple of days. And what you guys have done with the Pub with No Fear is obviously you've done just that. So I thought maybe we could have a chat about it. Tell us a little about how that came about and how it's been for you doing the Pub with No Fear.
Would you like to take care of that, Debbie?
Oh, yeah, I think I should.
It was pretty much Debbie's creation right at the start. I think not even within 48 hours. I think she probably did it within the first hour, actually.
Well, actually, it actually came about because Brad was sitting out the back corner in the corner, like in a ball, crying over all these lost gigs that we were facing. So I thought, what can I do to keep him busy? So that's really how it came about. Yeah, and within minutes, it just went through the roof. You know, like the next day we had 1,000 members, and the next day 1,000 again, and yeah, just crazy.
Yeah, we really started as a live streaming platform just for musicians still to be able to get out there and play their craft. I was sitting out the front when we heard the news, or just after we heard the news, I was sitting out the front just looking into space and thinking, oh, what do we do now? Like the thought of not gigging for 6 months, which was what they were saying at the time, just absolutely, it upset me more than I thought it would. And I thought, well, all musicians are going to be feeling the same way. And I think at the start there, you went through all these different stages. I'm sure you guys were the same.
Yeah.
Where you're okay with it, and then all of a sudden it'd flood in on you, and you'd be, wow, all these different this roller coaster we went on through the initial stages. And Debbie just grabbed it, and as she does, came up with a great name. And as soon as she did that, I said, well, let's register that name. That name has to be registered. So we did that pretty much straight away. Within a couple of hours, and it was born, and then it just took off. Really, really, really good.
And so what have you discovered about the people that you've been working with as they've been performing on the Pub with No Fear? What stories have you heard, and what have you discovered, I guess, about the spirit and the strength of artists as they've faced the most ridiculous situation in modern history? What have you heard? What are the stories that you've sort of gleaned as a result?
It's all been pretty positive. Most musicians, I think, are fairly creative and positive people. We bounce pretty well. I think we're used to having to adapt to different situations. We do that when we're at work and in our business life. So really, everyone was pretty positive.
Yeah.
Everyone was happy to jump on board. They were wrapped with the idea, and they've supported us all the way. The connections that we've made have been invaluable.
That's what I was going to say. We made connections with people like we've never made before. There's like we all knew each other, and we all sort of circulated around each other, but we were actually got to know each other in a way that we've never known before, and we know each other's music now more than ever. And we're supporting each other's businesses on the side. We're buying candles and T-shirts and handbags, and it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some fantastic connections.
Yeah.
And also rekindling old connections too, Nikki, has been really good.
Yeah.
There's been people we haven't worked with in 10 years, 15 years, and all of a sudden we've got this great spark and connection going again, which has been really enjoying that. Yeah.
That is great.
We need a holiday now to get over our isolation.
Yeah, we need a holiday.
Yep, we hear you.
So, guys, what sort of obviously it's been quite successful, but I mean, obviously things that are successful always have moments where they're just like tear your hair out. So, can you maybe tell us one great success story you've had from it, and one not so great success story where you've just gone, we should just pull the plug? Where we wanted to just have everything just self-implode, and then you've found a way to overcome it.
That's a daily experience. I'll let Debbie explain that one, because it's been pretty full-on wild ride.
Well, the bad one, the worst one, I guess, would be it attracted a lot of negative people as well. How do we put it?
Trolls. Trolls and sexual predators too, unfortunately, because we do present kids. Debbie likes to present kids.
Yeah.
Because we like to help the kids come up through the ranks and get to where we are. There's a lot we can share with them. But that does attract creeps, unfortunately.
We've had a few problems.
So that's been the real negative side of it.
But it's also nice. Some of the positive things that happen, or one of the best things, I guess, would be waking up daily to messages of support, people telling us how good it is and how fantastic it is, and it makes you feel good. So that's probably the best part, is getting those nice messages every day.
Yeah, and I think a couple of weeks ago, Mike, we streamed quite a few people, and the views are sort of up and down. You keep an eye on how things are going. But a couple of weeks back, one of our guys had 9,000 views, I think, on his video on a Sunday night.
Wow.
And we thought, well, that's pretty good. That's getting up there. So that was really nice to see. And they've been, that particular weekend, it was across the board. There was soloists that had only been on there a couple of times, and she had 7,500 views in that half-hour space that she was on. So I think this is great. We're really getting it out.
That's great.
That's really good.
Brilliant. Spreading, for want of a better word, it's spreading like a virus.
It's gone viral. No.
I love it. Brad and Deb, my question for you guys is now obviously that we're starting to wind out of lockdown and gigs are starting to come back to the front. What's next for the Pub with No Fear?
Yes, we were just talking about that only a couple of hours ago. I'd like to continue it, but it's going to be hard to, I'm sitting in front of the phone and the computer, and we're streaming events by the hour, as you know. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do that when we're at our own gig, but and I'm not really, we have got a really good bunch of people that are right behind us that are helping us through every step of the way, but I'm still not sure they're going to be able to have the time to devote to that either. So not quite sure about that one yet.
It really is amazing how much time this does take. Like, we're basically putting on a music festival every week. We're not putting on, one act a day. There's like 5, 6, up to 8 acts from Thursday through to Sunday. So it's, you guys know what it's like to program that sort of thing. It takes an amazing,
like a mini festival.
You think we would have had some time in the last few months to get out in the garden or clean the garage or do something, but no, we haven't had time to scratch, which is good. It's kept us busy.
It feels like it's only been a couple of weeks because we haven't had any sleep, So one day doesn't look like the next.
Groundhog Day.
So many of the people we've spoken to have said the same thing. They have never worked so hard to earn nothing, and it's been it's growing people into different areas that they never thought that they'd grow into. So there is an upside to this lockdown, but as we, I guess, emerge into recovery, what do you guys think our industry will look like towards the end of the year?
It's going to be a hard road back. I think right the way through this, we've just had to work in a changing daily world. It's changing every day, isn't it? And we've just had to adapt. I mean, at the start, they said this is a minimum of 6 months, and now daily there seems to be restrictions being lifted, and it's just so confusing. But you just have to work on the hop. It's going to take a while to come back. You hear people saying that they think our industry's got 2 to 3 years to recover fully. Personally, I don't think it's going to take quite that long, but it is going to take a while. I mean, it's not only our industry that's copped a hit, it's the whole of Australia and the world as a whole economically. So no one's got the money they used to have.
Yeah, no one's got any money.
So we've just got to look after our venues. I think we work with a lot of regional venues, so a lot of smaller pubs. That's the way we like to operate. But those particular pubs obviously are going to find it even harder to come back. So people who work in corporate gigs, etc., in corporate venues will probably find it a little bit easier. But we'll just adapt as time goes on. Where tonight we're actually doing our first paid gig back, and we're doing
another one on Saturday.
And we just got tonight's trivia. So we're returning to trivia. That's one of our ways to get back out there and make a little bit of money. And then Saturday night, we just found out this morning we've got our first gig, our first paid live gig. So we're really wrapped about that.
Our trivia night tonight is kind of like this inspecty kind of thing. So we're going to be busting in a song and dancing up and down the tables, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be. So we've designed a whole new show.
Well, look, we've really enjoyed watching what you guys have done with the Pub with No Fear. So kudos to both of you. Congratulations for actually being so innovative and creating this platform for people to actually stay connected. And we wish you the very best with everything. And thanks for taking the time to talk to us, guys. It's been good to see you. Good to see you smiling faces.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic to catch up with you too. Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
See you next.
Bye.
Hey guys.